Before we get into the video, a really exciting announcement is that I am doing Valentine's Day special tarot readings. If you want to book a tarot reading with moi, find out if someone's compatible for you, what's the kind of lover that you need in your life, find out if your current boyfriend or girlfriend is compatible with you, find out when you're going to next attract love in your life, find out what you need to work on to attract a love in your life. All kinds of love related questions. Send me a message on my email address down there, or DM me on my tarot reading Facebook page, link down there, or my tarot reading Instagram, link down there. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to be here in the week of Valentine's Day. I knew I just had to make this video. Proper Valentine's Day vibes today. All Valentine's pretty for the occasion. Look at the beret. Oh my God, have you ever seen a beret like this? It's proper Valentine's up in these parts. Valentine's is probably one of my favorite holidays. I love red and pink as a combination specifically because of it being one of my favorite holidays, and also because I wanted to share a really special, important and potent practice with you today that is, and I promise you this works, is going to help you with attracting, with manifesting the love of your damn lives. So I am sat on the floor in this video for a reason, though I do sit on the floor a lot, because this is actually where I feel most comfortable. And that's going to be something you're going to have to think about during this practice. You're going to need to be somewhere safe and secure and comfortable and grounded. And I think on the ground, that's going to be the case for a lot of people, because being on the ground grounds us, believe it or not. Today we're going to be talking about how to manifest the lover of your dreams, the perfect man or woman. I don't care what it is, I just want you to have it. So all you're going to need for this is the most simple practice you can probably get, yet just as powerful as a spell with all of the herbs, all of the words. For this though, you're only going to need a journal and a pen. Starting off with a little bit of Valentine's Day history. The origins of Valentine's isn't actually very clear. There's like so many different myths and legends, though one of the most popular beliefs is that Valentine's actually gets its roots from a Roman festival called Lupercalia, a fertility festival celebrated in the middle of February. It was essentially dedicated to Faunus, a god of agriculture. Some accounts suggest that Valentine's Day was named after St. Valentine, and St. Valentine was responsible for removing the law that young men shouldn't be allowed to marry because they would make better soldiers in the war if they were single. St. Valentine's approach to making this happen was hosting underground illegal marriages and helping people get married regardless of this law, which inevitably caused him an execution. So he was a lot of people's hero, but also a very naughty boy. It wasn't really until the whole Christianization process of everything when the love aspects came into this time of year. Now obviously pagan history goes way back, and we're talking about people who used to seriously celebrate the seasons and watch the weather, crops and everything natural way more than we ever even think to now. And I believe that winter turning into spring, things blossoming from the ground up, there being actual movement and stirring in nature coincides with new beginnings and new romantic feelings and initiating, coming to somebody with a card and confessing. And I think it's really important to truly get in touch with what this festival means to you, what this time of year resonates with in your heart. And I think that's the very first place I want to start. Is there anything that comes up for you as important, something that you can maybe work on as the year goes on, as a bit of like a sour undertone that you have towards people or the holiday? You might feel a bit hard done by it because of like previous Valentines that you've had, or maybe you're totally optimistic and you're ready and you're excited. Get to grips with like, what is your connection to love? It's slowly like becoming another Easter or another birthday. It's getting a bigger celebration. Does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel bad? Why is it making you feel those ways? We can't really have an impact on that unless we find in ourselves why that pisses us off, or why this season makes us feel irritable. Like with anything, once we do find that, work on that wound or that part of ourselves that repels this energy, this holiday, these people that are trying to pull into your life, we can a lot more easily start making the changes in the world that we want to see, like what you believe to be a much healthy, fulfilling, nurturing way for your lover, your friends, your family, however you and whoever you choose to celebrate this season with. So first things first, I really advise you to pause this video and come back to it when you actually want to do the practice. I think this is going to be a lot more impactful if you take part in the video as you're watching it for the very first time. Speaking of pausing the video, there's going to be a number of different times throughout this video where a title card is going to come up. It's basically just going to write out exactly what I've just said, and you're going to need to pause the video so you have all the time that you need to write down the answer to the question, because this practice is going to heavily involve journal prompts. This is my current journal and it is stuffed. I'm about to get a new one because, my God, I simply could not get more things in here. This little book here has absolutely done a 180 for me. Like, there's some raw stuff in here. I've always said if my house was on fire, the first thing I would take is this. You can manifest so much through journaling. Open up to a fresh page, get your pen ready. It's really important at this time to get yourself into a headspace that is very you, but also very secure. A lot of the times when we think about who we're trying to attract, the kind of lover that we want, we often might subconsciously cycle through ideas of what other people want, or what our friends have, or how our family dynamic looks, you know, the sort of love our parent had, thinking that's what we deserve, or that's what we want, or that's all we can get. Some people, especially those who don't meditate, find dropping into themselves quite difficult, like the true essence of who they are. So you might find it easier if you were to sit in front of a mirror while you're doing this practice. I've got a whole video on mirror gazing and how that can help you connect with yourself. Another method may even be a younger photo of yourself around 6-7 years old. That might be a little bit harder for some people to get. Essentially, this part of the practice is just going to involve deep breaths. So breathing in for 4, holding in for 2, and breathing out for 4. Pausing for 2, breathing in for 4, holding for 2, and breathing out for 4. This is just simply going to calm our nervous system. The whole essence of this practice is really, really, really personal and raw and honest. And sometimes that can feel a bit anxiety inducing, so you want to get yourself into a space where it feels comfortable to be able to envision, think, feel, dream with the lid off. A lot of people will find this process more comfortable if you were to put your hand on your heart space, feeling your heart rhythm and connecting with, you know, what it means to be you. I sometimes put my right hand on my stomach and my left on my heart. Remembering that you are your own person, you have a child spirit within you, you have a beautiful soul with wonderful intentions and goals, and you have come so far. You are a wonderful, worthy human being with so much ahead of you, all of which you deserve, all of which you have worked towards, all of which you have healed for, and you have a wonderful support system of friends and families who have used positive words in the past to describe the essence of what it means to be you. And that finding a companion is not to complete that soul, but is to join your journey, to join your dance, to join your ways of self-expression, to celebrate with, to work alongside, to raise each other up, to lift each other's spirits when it's needed, to go on adventures with, to sit comfortably with, to understand, to talk with, to share with, and to laugh with. And we begin. And that simply starts with number 1. What are they like? So what are the kinds of things that this person would describe themselves as? How would they speak about themselves? Are they funny? Are they intelligent? Are they smart, goofy, spontaneous, strategic, kind, family orientated, caring for animals? How would their family, their friends describe them as a person? Question 2 is, what does that feel like? As with any form of magic, particularly manifestation magic, it's important to focus on an actual feeling. Feeling attracts feeling. Nothing can flow in and out of your life without sitting into feeling. It's the portal to manifesting anything. It's the portal to letting anything go. Looking at those description words, now you've started to connect to the kinds of person that you know would be good for you energetically. How does it feel if they were to walk into the room right now? How would it feel in your gut? How would it feel on your nervous system? How would it feel in your head, your feet, your hands, your legs? Is it jittery and excitable? Are you ready for whatever adventure they're going to come out with and tell you they're going to go on, and you're going to go on with them? Are you roaring out from laughter because they're a hilarious person? Or do you simply feel safe, calm? Does your body relax? And actually feeling these things enough to start actually noticing them in your body. Can you mimic them in the moment that you're in right now? Can you get jittery? Can you get butterflies? Can you get giddy and you're like, oh, I feel kind of like drunk, I feel high around them? Maybe it's just a form of safety. Like in their company, I want to feel secure as hell. I want to feel so like relaxed that right now I'm just gonna spend a couple of minutes like imagining how good that must feel to be relaxed around another man or another woman. Lie down if you want for a little bit and sink into that feeling. But when you're ready, make sure you write it down as your second journal prompt answer. So question number 3 is, what are they interested in? What are the kinds of things that you guys talk about? Basically, what brings you guys together? Do you have a like-minded goal or hobbies? Is there something that you nerd over? Is there something that you always joke about? Do you bond over your humor? Or maybe it's your skill sets, or maybe it's like weird hobbies that you have that, you know, you haven't really found many other people who do have those hobbies. What kind of things do you guys have in common? What are the kinds of things you can see yourselves spending hours doing? Some people just want a person to veg out on that sofa after work and binge comedy after comedy. Others want a man who knits. They're like, F it, I'm gonna find myself someone who does what men don't typically do. Or maybe you just want to find someone who, what they're interested in is being outside. You don't want to sit inside watching TV. No way. You want to geek over what that tree over there is called, or that bird song is, just by listening to it. The next question is, how do they spend their free time? Any of you who have been on a healing journey in order to attract the love of your dreams will probably be well aware that your time is as important as theirs. It's really important that we have a base that we've worked on in our life, in our career, in our house and home and family and friends, as well as them having their own life and their own world. Get fixated on what their world looks like. What do they do in their free time? What do they do with their friends? What kind of activities do they do on their own? So are they adventurous or homely, bubbly, social butterfly, chatty? Perhaps they just like sitting, curling up in a corner, reading a book on their own with their cat. How much of their world has you in it? Are you quite a private person? You know, you don't want to be around a partner all the time. You don't want someone in your face all the time. You like your space. So how is that going to look like in your life? Are you someone who wants to integrate as much as possible into their world? Do your worlds want to connect? What does their schedule look like? How are they enjoying life? The next question is, what are their values? I always had a hard time with questions like this because I grew up thinking everyone had the same kind of values, but no. Once we get connected properly to our true values, like what's important to us in every aspect of our life, if it has that fundamental like key undertone to it, then we can truly manifest whatever dreams that we want. But in this practice, what is important for a lover to have and hold with utmost importance in everything that they do? Is it family? Is it creativity they need to constantly express in every part of their life? Is it magic? Do you need a magical person, someone who's deeply spiritual, someone who touches people with kindness everywhere they go, someone who physically cannot get through their day without serving someone, helping somebody? Perhaps they value inner child play. They're a silly, goofy person, and you know, nothing's going to work in their lives unless they have that fundamental undertone. The next question is one of my favorites, and it's how are they supportive to people in their lives? So how do you envision their interaction with other people as looking like? How do they hold space for the people around them? So for instance, how do they provide, care, serve for their mother? What does their relationship look like with their parents? Perhaps you envision them being super playful with their siblings, or they're a really good listener. People call on them first for advice. Really good at like dishing cold harsh truth, but in like a really loving and supportive way. Perhaps they're someone who's like super inspiring to people, and people just want to be around that energy because it's like infectious and like so fun and freeing. He or she kind of gives them permission to be themselves because they're so much of themselves. Or perhaps, you know, they're not that deep. They're just a really great entertainer. They know how to put on a good show. They know how to put on a good party. And that's the kind of vibe you want in your life. So the next question is similar to the one we had previously. So when you look back at the previous ideals that you thought about, how does it make you feel seeing them do all of those interactions? Does it make you feel relief? Finally, I found someone like this. Does it make you feel like, oh, it's so sweet that they can provide that for people? Does it make you feel like, yeah, like this person is improving everyone's lives who they touch? Does it make you feel amped, inspired, calm, safe, because you know they're a great listener? They're going to listen to you as well as others. And perhaps that makes you feel super heard. Like, that's a really big one. Last, but by all means not least, if anything, this is the most important stage, I want you to take a couple deep breaths again. So 4 in, 2 hold, 4 out. And I just want you to close your eyes, sink into the moment, just be really super present. It's a late Tuesday afternoon. You've come off from work, you've got no responsibilities for the rest of the day, and their company, their presence is beginning to sit beside you right now. You can feel them to your side, drawing closer and sitting down. How does that feel? And actually, I've done this with people before and they've literally started crying. So truly welcome in anything. How does that feel? Perhaps you feel safe, secure, protected, expansive, or nervous. You might be getting giddy. You might feel appreciated, heard, respected, loved, whole, or confident. While you're sat in this practice, keep connecting with that feeling, but be open to any colours that might want to come up, any shapes, textures, sensations, smells. How does it feel in your body? What sticks out? Any emotions? And now, when you feel comfortable, wiggle your toes, feel your presence back in the room, open your eyes again, look at my lovely little face, and begin writing down some of those key pieces. They could be keywords, some colours, some emotions, some things that you didn't really know that you needed in their presence. here's the big secret. This is the final touch of magic. You've probably heard in energy work or any form of magic, and particularly manifestation magic, like attracts like. This is why a lot of people say you've got to be the thing that it is you want to attract. Connect to that in the place that we are in now, which doesn't have that thing we want. This person that you've distilled, you've got an entire list of qualities of them, who they are, what it means to be them, their values and how they spend their time, what they're busy doing. You are going to become. Now, this is the biggest thing I learned with ever trying to attract anything in life. The quickest way you're going to do that is by embodying the thing in which you are drawing in. To meet anything at any energetic level, you want to match the vibration. That goes for bad things and for good. And so, spoiler alert, you've very unintentionally created yourself a very, very powerful vision board for your life, for your goals, and how you want the rest of the year to look. Because you've created a desired energy without the attachments of what your own ego has said you are or are not capable of. The most potent part of this process is spending the next 30 days at least meditating or reflecting. You can sit somewhere nice in nature or a place that you like to be, and asking yourself how you can step in to these traits, into these characteristics, into this person that shows up in the world in the ways that you've described in this journal. So some of these things will be more physical stuff. So if one thing that you really focused in on is somebody super kind and compassionate and someone who really shows up for people, what is a little interaction you can have today to help honor that? It can be paying for the lady's coffee in front of you in the queue. It can be helping an old lady cross the road, offering a friend a hand during a busy assignment. If they are someone who has big dreams, big hobbies, what are they? Can you sign yourself up to classes? But again, even if you had visualizations of your desired partner playing beach ball, volleyball, there's something playful there that your subconscious is honing in on, needing in your life. That's essentially what it is when we want to manifest any form of person. It's an ask for energy. It's a need, it's a requirement in some sorts lacking within us. So something that to you means play, signing up for that basketball club or whatever. If you want to manifest a really ambitious, hardworking, business kind of character, how can you find that more in your own life? What are some actions that you can take part in? That embodiment of a person who is business savvy and in charge of their career. Someone who feels very worthy and important and reliable. So what you've created here is a very effective, true to you, non-ego attached North Star, because the truth is we can only attract what vibration we are giving out, sending off an energetic field of exactly what it is you are calling in. This isn't about saying, why don't I have a boyfriend? This is about taking accountability of the part we have to play in that. Now, this is often mentioned more so in money manifestation spells for some reason, but actually it's relevant for any kind of manifestation spell. You simply can't, or you'll at least struggle to manifest anything if it's radiating on a more scarce mindset than an abundance one. And so in order to do that, you're going to need to find these qualities in yourself, because actually what you'll probably find that this practice has done for you is picked up on a few things that you might need to simply work on. This process actually might end up bringing a few things to the surface which aren't as nice. And actually sometimes when we're thinking about the things that we really want in our lives and we're really dreaming with the lid off, we realize there's a lot of different parts in us that don't feel worthy or deserving or that it's possible. You can use this practice to help understand some keywords that you sort of found in yourself, in your body, that wasn't very open and willing to this person. So maybe write a few of these down in a list and be super honest with yourself. Write a super honest list about things that you really want to start inviting into your own life. but do it with love, do it with compassion and acceptance, and understanding that there's lots of things you've had to learn along the way. You may have been through hardships and obstacles. There's certain stuff that your life has sort of thrown at you and you've had to deal with, and that's fine. Lots of these traits may be triggering and difficult for you to work through, but realizing that little baby steps will eventually get you there. This part will really involve going spaces, reaching new communities, and like trying new things in new territories, because at the end of the day, you're embodying a new kind of characteristic, a new kind of persona that you haven't really explored with before. So there's going to be new environments that you're going to find yourself in, but the last step of any spell to me has always been just say yes, because ultimately what a spell does is call something in, and the last final key to receiving is being open. You know, we can't call something in and block it off and push it back. So we've got to start saying yes to invitations, start saying yes to things that strangely come about our path or open itself up to us, even if it's disguised as something completely different. It doesn't look like a potential like partner opportunity. It doesn't look like the love of our life. It looks like a advert on Facebook to like a local pottery class, and then using those spaces to begin embodying all of those characteristics, those traits, that person in which you've connected to in this session. And you will find lots of bits coming up. You will find that naturally your response, unlike this person, is to clam up in social situations, is to freeze in environments that involve business people or spontaneous people, or environments that require a leadership skill. You know, that's something you think in a partner is a really like important thing to have, but when you try and embody that, it just makes you a deer in the headlights, realizing that I'm shrinking myself. My ideal partner would expand, let themselves be heard and seen and shine and thrive. They would be loud and big and their fullest self and so expressionate. And it's totally okay to just face the facts that you aren't able to do that. You've come up to some resistance. This isn't about you changing the personality type that you've associated yourself with for your entire life. You know, it's just realizing that there's disconnect. There's not really a bridge for you to get to that place that you need to be. And sometimes just like sitting with that, you know, in the evenings after the occasion, sitting with that feeling and having a conversation with it, whether it's the feeling of like shrinking yourself or quietening your voice or not wanting yourself to be seen, and just sitting with her or it or the feeling, whatever you want to call it. It could be a color for some people, a texture, and asking it what it needs. What is it that I can do to make you feel better? Sometimes it's just wanting to be recognized, so realizing where it came from or who it came from, because it could be a personality trait you've kind of learnt of your parent or realized is normal from a friend, or something that you've watched. And other times it's just, you know, it needs small, steady, daily proof that you can exist outside of that emotions comfort level. So how can you do something in your day that sort of shows that feeling it's safe to be outside of it? So sometimes that feeling just needs to see evidence that you can survive, because actually it is just an innate protective mechanism. If you were to do something that goes against its belief. So how can you do that today? How can I do something that makes me seen, that makes me heard, that like puts a bit of spotlight on me in a little way? It can be very, very small things. It can simply just be video calling your best friend, because actually video calls usually freak you out. You know, you're testing somewhere safe, and sometimes it's a weird thing, like that feeling just needs you to dance in the mornings. So speaking on more of the negative emotions that might bubble up during this practice is actually noticing if there was any kind of cringing or voices that came through while you were writing this ideal person down. Did you get any feelings that came up of like, you're never going to get a person like that, or that kind of person isn't even possible? Voices or feelings that go against just being outrageously like worthy and open and available to this amazing, incredible person that could and will walk into your life? What kind of things resisted that? These are your shadows, and this is my favorite thing to work with when it comes to spells, because these are the key things getting in the way of our manifestations all the time. Whatever we're trying to manifest, these are the little demons that are gonna come up again and again and again and again. So really put it down into a keyword. You can write it down if you want, dissect it a little bit, try and figure out its root. I like to microanalyze these kind of voices, these kind of feelings, and ask it where it came from. Is it my own voice? Like, it could be a parent, it could be a friend or a family member who made us feel this certain way. How our upbringing has made us realize that men can't be amazing people, or we don't feel worthy because we watched our mum not be worthy. You know, you want to really figure out what this thing is and what this thing needs in order to release. You know, if it is worthiness, if we don't feel like we're enough to let this incredible man in, what little micro actions can you do in your day-to-day life to prove that unworthiness wrong, to start breaking it away a little bit and building a new belief system, pretty much, of worthiness? And this is about focusing on what worthiness means to you. So how does that show up in your daily life in very small, minor ways? And sometimes they show up in weird ways. You might be showing yourself unworthiness every day by lowering your voice when you're speaking to other people, or like not taking part in adding music to a playlist in a room full of friends, or saying, oh no, it's fine, like you go first, or underselling your like products compared to other businesses doing the same thing as you. How can you nourish that part of your shadow self that is going to just keep coming up during manifestation practices? And like with anything, even if you're physically ordering something from Amazon and expecting it to be delivered into your house, you're going to need to leave space. If you're calling something in, it's going to need to find space in your life. So you need to give it wiggle room. And that's down to mentally and physically, because mentally you want to be as open-minded about who wants to show up and how they want to show up in the different opportunities that come up, like even though you don't think it's related to this manifestation. But also physically, like how do you want your home, your space, your world, your life, you to look as someone who is about to meet the love of their life, like the king of their dreams, the queen of their dreams? Like, how do you want the home to look, to smell? What vibe do you want, like the food to be like that you're making, or the smell of the house? What clothes do you want to be wearing that your lover is about to see you in? Now, don't get me wrong, you can still attract in a scarce mindset. You can still attract something that you don't have inside you. That is possible. I've done that. But that connection is going to be so much harder to keep that energy into your life, and also for that energy to be healthy, because you're going to feel needy. You're going to like see past red flags because what they have in them, you don't have in you. And you feel like if they're not in your life anymore, you're not going to have that, and you're going to feel less of a person. And if you feel less of a person, you feel like it's not inside you, it's in that person over there. So I'm going to do everything I can to get that toxic person back in my life. But also, this person's going to be a walking, talking trigger for you. They're going to constantly bring up these parts in yourself that you shut down. And I've done this before with someone I manifested. They were constantly just bringing up my own shit and issues that I saw so much of myself in them, and it used to frustrate me because the stuff they did, I knew why they were doing it because I do it. And trying to work on two people at the same time is just not how you go about it. It's got to start from within first, please. And that's it. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know if you had some exciting revelations doing this. Take part in it, see how it goes. Let me know in the comment section if you've tried it and how you found it initially and also afterwards. I like hearing like first expectations of if it's going to work compared to like when it does and you're like, holy crap. Thanks for watching. I will see you for my next video. Subscribe if you like videos like this, so I'll make more. Like the video so I know that you've enjoyed this video. And you can follow me on social media such as Instagram and Facebook. And I'll see you next time for my next video. Love to you all. Bye.